Dr. Hari Gopalan, the chairperson of this institute, the correspondent of this institute, Thiru George Arvind, the vice chairperson, the principal, president of the Parent Teachers Association, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, faculty members, and my dear young friends. I am extremely happy to be with you this evening to listen to the beautiful lectures given by both the chairperson as well as the vice chairperson. J. Krishnamurthy defines intelligence as a component which is dynamic, distinct and different. We all make the mistake thinking that intelligence is a static component. Intelligence can grow. Intelligence can diminish. Intelligence is a dynamic process. No individual will have the same intelligence over a period of time. Similarly, intelligence is different also. That's why Gardner said there are 8 types of intelligence. He propounded the component called multiple intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is totally different. People like Shakespeare had it, Milton had it. Some people had mathematical intelligence. People like Newton had that. So intelligence is also distinct and different. J. Krishnamurthy said that when you are present in the present, you are intelligent. The moment all the students sitting here listen to my talk and focus only on my talk rather than visualizing anything else, then they become intelligent. I admire sports for the simple reason that it is the only one that can make the young minds 100% attentive, 100% focused. When you play a game, you are fully engrossed in it. Your mind is completely with that. You don't get diverted anywhere. Your whole world becomes the playground. You enjoy every moment of it. The moment the ball comes to you, you tend to become the ball. You flow with it, you move with it. You are totally involved in it. And that becomes a beautiful experience. When you are completely engrossed in the game that you play, totally involved in it, enjoying every moment of it, I feel that all the medals are utterly futile. All the trophies become useless. If you are not able to enjoy the moment and if you are completely absorbed in the result that is going to flow out of it, then you get defeated. You may win the medal, but you have got defeated because you have not enjoyed the game. I am reminded of a small anecdote said by Chuang Tzu, a Tao philosopher. He said, when I aim at the target just for fun, I never miss the target. When I aim at the target for medal, my hands start shaking. When I aim at the target with the object of winning the trophy, my vision goes blurred and I am not able to clearly see the target. It's a beautiful parable that explains that when you are goal oriented, when you are all the time interested in accolades, acknowledgements, applause and recognition, your life becomes totally futile And that is why Emerson said, life is not for a spectacle. You are not leading a life for others to see it as a spectacle. One of my friends used to play volleyball. After he finishes the game, they used to ask him, why did you go to the volleyball court? He would essentially ask a question, did I play well? So people would tell him, the difference between you and us lies in the fact that you remained in the court and witnessed the event, and we remained outside the court and witnessed it, because he would never touch a ball. He was not proficient in volleyball at all. But I would see him enjoying the game so much that he would encourage everybody. And invariably, the team in which he figures used to win the trophy. Not because of his contribution, but because of his participation. He used to participate so much with so much of ebullience that every other student will enjoy the game. The evolution of sports is quite interesting, as it was said by Thiru George Arvind, the vice chairperson. All the life skills are achieved by playing some game. It may be self-awareness, it may be interpersonal skills, it may be critical thinking, it may be creative thinking, it may be problem solving, it may be decision making, it may be effective communication skill, it may be emotional intelligence, it may be developing empathy, it may be coping with stress. Almost all the life skills are addressed by sports. Let me tell you a small story to illustrate how one can develop emotional intelligence through sports. Nowadays, students have enormous intelligence. Intelligence is not a problem. They have very high IQ, but invariably they have low EQ. The emotional quotient happens to be less. I am shocked to present a fact to you that Tamil Nadu is one of the leading states as far as suicides are concerned. Maximum number of suicides for a trivial reason, absolutely of no use. For a simple reason, if the parents scold, they commit suicide. If they get low marks, they commit suicide. Mainly because of the fact that they have less emotional quotient. In life, you have to treat both success and failure alike. That is what the chairperson was saying. The parents are becoming more anxious about the performance of the students, not only in sports, also in academics. Nowadays, even for the LKG, they have the parent-teachers meet. If the parents sit with a gloomy mode, switching off their lights in an evening, absolutely crestfallen, that means they have attended the parent-teachers meet. And the principal or the class teacher might have told the parents that your son is not good in grasping, is not doing his charts. Most of the projects are done by the parents only. You are evaluating only for the performance of the parents and not for the children. However, I have observed one thing, that the concept of equating defeat with success is becoming less and less nowadays. The parents are too keen and they want the children to emerge successful in every venture they perform. Not in one venture, but in every venture. So I must tell you that playing the game itself is a great thing. The experience is going to help them a lot. For example, when you play a game without being conscious, you develop discipline. There is a beautiful saying about education and learning. One has to remember this beautiful quotation to understand what is learning. It says, learning is the process of moving from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. The first step is to know our incompetence. Moving from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, and from conscious incompetence to conscious competence. Then from conscious competence to unconscious competence. There ends the learning process. The moment you are highly conscious, whether it is cricket, whether it is chess, or whether it is reciting a poem, or whether it is performing in the annual examination, you develop a lot of anxiety and you miss the joy. When you become anxious, naturally, you will have more secretion of adrenaline, cortisol, and all kinds of hormones which will reduce your performance. But if you are zealous, full of zest, then you have the happy hormones being secreted. You will have dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. So when you play a game, you have happy hormones being secreted. Till a particular point of time, people were thinking that the physical well-being of a human being alone is ensured by participating in an event. But recently, a lot of research has been done by the neuroscientists because they have got powerful equipment to study the brain. And they have come to the conclusion that when you play a game, when you get involved in a physical activity, you will have more and more neurons generated in your brain. This is called neurogenesis. Even at the age of 80, if somebody is able to play a game or go for a long walk or do some other physical activity of his choice, then he will have lot of neurons being generated in his brain, and as a result, his brain will remain young. So they have done a study of a few grandparents, and they found that all those grandparents had excellent neurogenesis process. And then finally they named them as super grandfathers. It happened because when you play a game, you don't play just for a medal, but you play for a larger purpose. And that larger purpose is to keep your brain young, to provide the process of neurogenesis. I was promising you that I would tell a story about the emotional intelligence. In many of the Southeast nations, they have the game called rooster fighting. Two roosters will fight inside an arena, and a large gathering will be there to witness which rooster emerges successful. One of the Chinese emperors purchased a beautiful rooster, quite large in size, and he called the trainer, gave him the rooster and told him, I want my rooster to win this rooster fighting this time in the tournament. Train this rooster properly. The trainer got the rooster and went away. After 1 month, no news was coming from the trainer. So the king called the trainer and asked him what happened to the rooster. He said the rooster is not yet prepared. It is quite ferocious. Whenever the other roosters make a noise, then it becomes quite boisterous. This is not the time to enter into the fray. The king was shocked. Only a ferocious rooster can win the game. But this trainer is saying something contrary to the popular belief. So after another month, he called the trainer and asked him what happened. The trainer said, slightly better, but now when it sees the other roosters, it becomes boisterous. It loses its control. After 2 months, the trainer on his own came here to the king and told him, now the rooster is ready. Even in the presence of the other roosters, it is calm and composed. It doesn't make a noise. We can ask this rooster to be entered for the competition. The actual competition began. And this rooster stood so majestically that all other roosters, on seeing this rooster itself, ran away from the ground. And this emerged successful without even fighting. This is a beautiful Zen story. Only a person with high emotional intelligence can win any game. If you do not have enough emotional intelligence, you may be a good player. You may practice for 4 hours or 5 hours a day. You may have a very good coach. You may have a motivating parents. You may be having a supporting ecosystem in the form of a school. But still, you would fail because in the initial failure, how you remain is very, very important. In the first failure, whether you get frustrated or whether you get motivated, that becomes the question. As I told you, sports has got a beautiful evolution. When men were in the forest, they used to hunt to make a livelihood, and women were gathering the fruits. That is why women have the peripheral vision and men have the narrow vision, because they have to go for hunting. And men developed strong muscles. Men are generally 30% stronger, 10% heavier, and 7% taller than women. Only thing is, the women have 25% fat to facilitate delivery of the baby, and men have got only 12.5%. That is the basic difference. Men have got broad nostrils to respire more air, inhale more air during hunting, because he has to run. Strong thighs, strong legs, and a mustache so that it will prevent the flow of sand into his nose, and thick eyebrows so that the sweat doesn't fall into the eyes. Men were doing only hunting. When men got civilized by virtue of 3 revolutions that took place, the first is the cognitive revolution that took place 70,000 years ago, when men started speaking like us. His speech apparatus developed. Esophagus, throat, tongue, everything got developed. And he was able to speak. The second revolution was agriculture revolution that took place 10,000 years ago, as Yuval Noah Harari says. And third one is scientific revolution that took place 500 years ago. So when agriculture revolution took place, men started settling in villages. and start doing farming. At that time, there was not much need for hunting. But a rivalry came between two tribal groups, and that resulted in war. So over a period of time, hunting got metamorphosed into war. Instead of shooting the animals, men started shooting arrows on other human beings to ensure his survival. After some time, he wanted to practice hunting so that when he faces a war, he would be prepared to face it. Let me tell you an example from history. Mongols were known for their warfare. They were called nomadic warriors, and at one point of time, the entire world was quivering in fear and shivering in agony when they hear the names of Mongols. They used to have a practice called the Great Hunt. When they don't have a war, the soldiers will stand in two concentric circles and they would practice hunting. The animals which escape from the inner circle will be cornered by the outer circle and they would be killed. They had a strategy called slow trigger, fast bullet. Aim slowly, but aim correctly. So that was the concept of Great Hunt. So hunting was practiced for warfare. Then men became more civilized. At that time, hunting got alchemized into sports. Sports and hunting, they have almost the same kind of targets: aim, group formation to hunt, or group formation to win a medal. Everything is akin to hunting. For example, in cricket, you have the stumps as the target. In football, you have the goal post. In caroms and golf, you have the holes as the target. So every game has some target or other. As it was mentioned earlier by the speakers before me, sports not only improves the physical qualities, but it improves the overall capability of a person. He develops a lot of leadership skills. Team formation becomes easy. In our school, when we were children, we used to find that the person who tops the academics will not be a hero. When he receives a medal, nobody will clap. But the captain of the football team, when he receives the trophy, thunderous applause will be there in the auditorium. Why? What is the reason? Because a person who scores marks for himself. But the person who wins the football wins the trophy for the school. He doesn't play for himself. He plays for the school. And that is the logic behind it. In the earlier centuries, they had some cruel sports in the West. All of you must have known that they had the system of amphitheaters in Rome, which was called Colosseum, named after the colossal statue of Nero. 60,000 to 80,000 people can sit and watch the show. Gladiators will be put in the arena and animals would be unleashed on them and they will devour them and the people would clap their hands and enjoy. Trained fighters would be made to fight against the gladiators. The gladiators were the people who were enslaved by unethical means. And the nobles and the aristocratic society used to enjoy the amphitheaters. Even in England, in the Elizabethan era, there used to be something called bear biting. A bear will be tied to the pole in the center of the ground, and hounds will be unleashed. And these hounds will tear the bear into pieces, and people would enjoy. Oliver Cromwell, a Puritan, banned this game, citing it as cruel. In India also we had some soft games, not to that extent, but over a period of time, we have realized that we had some soft methodologies by which we can exhibit the strength. Experts say that boxing and wrestling were the earliest games. One of my friends trained his sons in martial arts. So when I heard of this, I asked him, why are you training him in martial arts? My friend said, it's for self-defense. Then I asked, what does it mean by self-defense? For example, if 4 people come to attack him, he has to guard himself. So I am teaching him martial arts. Then I asked the question, if 5 persons come to attack, what would you do? Then he said, in the evening, I am teaching him sprinting also, so that if 5 persons come, he can run away and escape from them. So wrestling and boxing were the earlier games played by us. Still we have something like shooting, archery, which are the alchemized forms of hunting. As I told you already, discipline can be inculcated in the young minds by making them participate in the games. Any sports event brings a lot of discipline in the minds of the children. We have seen that unethical practices in sports are condemned by the entire sports world. We have instances where people used to dope themselves with steroids. The first such instance came to our notice when Ben Johnson in 1987 won the 100 meters run and later discovered to have doped himself with a steroid called stanozolol. Now efficient tests are there, but still people are doing it. I would only say that sports should be played with a lot of sportsmanship. As it was mentioned by your chairman, winning is not important, whether you play it by observing the rules. That's why the father of modern Olympics, Pierre de Coubertin, instituted a medal just for sportsmanship in Olympics. If somebody shows an extraordinary sportsmanship, he will be given that award. There are large number of instances where people were initially declared as failures but later became successful. They may not have won the Olympic medals, but certainly they have won some recognition in this society. Glenn Cunningham is a person who had severe burn injuries when he was 8 years old. Both the legs were burnt. Doctors advised to go for amputation, but he refused. Slowly he recovered from the wounds and practiced continuously, and he became one of the fastest runners in US, and he was given the US Amateur Award for the best runner. It was possible for him as he had tremendous determination and willpower. Ultimately in sports, you should develop that determination and willpower, which can be transformed to all other fields. The same spirit can be adopted in academics. The same spirit can be adopted in administration when you become an executive. The same spirit can be there when you become an entrepreneur. The same spirit can be there when you start an enterprise. I personally feel that your chairperson has that skill, that determination and sportsmanship. I have been keenly watching him. The enthusiasm that he exuberates in his being, that is very, very significant. So it is extremely important that determination is crucial for that. There was a person called Ludwig Guttmann. He was responsible for the invention of Paralympics. Initially, when the military persons got injured, he wanted to give them a kind of therapy. Most of them had injuries in the spinal cord and they were not able to stand. So he gave them wheelchairs and made them participate in some kind of sports. It was initially called Stoke Mandeville. Later, they improved their health by participating in these games, and they discovered that this game is therapeutic in nature. After some time, he called it as paraplegic games. Later, it got transformed as Paralympic games, and today we are seeing large number of differently abled persons participating in Paralympics from Tamil Nadu and winning medals. We have got stalwarts in sports, and they are exemplars for the determination and unwavering willpower. For example, you have Michael Phelps. He has won 28 medals in Olympics. Maximum number of medals. In one Olympic game itself, he has won 8 medals in 2004 for swimming. And we had a person called Oscar Swan. He participated in Olympics in 1912 at the age of 64 and won medal. The oldest man to participate in the game, and he was able to win the medal also. And we have people like Cristiano Ronaldo, who has made maximum number of appearances in football. We have large number of people. I feel pride in saying that Tamil Nadu is emerging as the chess capital of the whole world. As far as India is concerned, Tamil Nadu is the capital. There is absolutely no doubt in it. But it is emerging as the world capital. When we conducted the chess Olympiad in a short span of time, within 4 months, we observed the enthusiasm of the youngsters in learning the game and playing the game. For example, maximum number of teams played chess in Trichy district and created Guinness record. The record is not important, but the spirit with which students, elderly people, youth, and everybody participated in the game, that was really a spectacle. When you play chess, it improves your mental faculty. I always tell that chess is an example for self-discipline and also self-progress. For example, when you play chess, the queen will always remain as the queen till the end. The king will always be a king. For namesake he is king, but queen is more powerful. You have the bishop. The bishop will be bishop till the end. But a soldier could become a queen if he is able to progress without getting beaten up. If he is able to reach the last square, he can become a queen. Soldier is the only person who has got the possibility for becoming the queen, the most powerful coin in the game. It teaches that one may be from a poor economic background, but one need not have to get frustrated with it. He has got plenty of opportunities to come up in his life and become a role model for all other people. I have been observing the way in which this annual sports celebrations is being held. I appreciate the students for the way in which they presented the report and delivered the welcome address. I also appreciate the management for making it more participatory in nature. I am sure that the parents would make the children to play more, participate in the sports and games, make them vibrant, zealous, with full of zest and enthusiasm, so that in the long run their children can be hale and healthy, not only by winning medals, but by contributing something significantly to this society. I appreciate all the medal winners, and I also appreciate all the participants who took part in the competition. Taking part in various competition itself is a victory. Only thing is, the victory is being postponed. So never get upset that you could not win the medal. But when the winner receives the medal, the applause that they receive also belongs to you. Thank you very much.